Hello, everybody, and those that are joining us. Welcome to our ESCA Summer Educational Conference First Timers webinar. We're just going to give everyone another minute to get into the meeting before we get started. But I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. Oh, I think we have almost everybody that has registered, Julie. So I'm going to get started here. So, like I said, welcome everybody for joining our ESCA Summer Educational Conference First Timers webinar. My name is Rachel Rodine. I am ESCA's Director of Education and Events. And today I am joined by
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Kagieska's Executive Director.
Yeah, so we wanted to welcome you all here and go through some tips and tricks to make sure you felt well prepared for this summer's educational conference. And if you were not registered yet, hopefully you leave this webinar feeling prepared and excited and you get ready to register. So to get started, some things that we will be covering today. So we will be talking about the power of networking, bringing your spouse and family, how each day flows, packing and pre-trip checklists, and then we're leaving plenty of time at the end for Q&A. So throughout this conference, throughout this webinar, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat. We'd love to get to them, and really we want to make this as interactive as possible. We've kept the content a little light, so we made sure to have time for your questions, and we really answer what you need to know to feel prepared to come to the summer conference. So to get started, Julie, do you want to start and talk about networking?
Absolutely. So that is one of the key points of the Summer Educational Conference, obviously, other than the education that we offer. It is the networking. So you will find at our event industry leaders, CEOs, directors, innovators, everybody who's really anybody in our segment of the industry. And people do build real relationships that span years and decades. This is where competitors can come and represent their companies, but can also build those connections across the industry with competitors, with suppliers, with our labor partners, and to really have a more intimate connection with their colleagues in the industry. And at the same time, a lot of new opportunities come from attending our event, whether it's partnerships, referrals, or discussing, common challenges and how people have addressed them, or identifying new challenges that we as an industry need to address. So, some tips and tricks for networking here are always introduce yourself. I know sometimes when we have first timers come into our events, they feel like it's a very, very tight knit group, but it's really important to remember that everybody was a first timer at one point, and this group is so welcoming. So make sure that you introduce yourselves to people you don't know or that you want to know. And with that, look at the attendee list of who's going to be attending so that you can identify in advance who you want to make connections with. You can send them a pre-email intro and let them know that you're looking forward to connecting, and perhaps set aside some time while you're there to have a more in-depth conversation. We also suggest that you move around, sit in different places, different tables, different groups. Everybody is so welcoming and they will more than welcome you into their conversation and want to build those connections with you. And if you do get an opportunity to meet somebody new and have those meetings and you have a shared interest, challenge, opportunity, please follow up with them after the event to keep that connection going. This is ESCA's premier event where we do bring everybody together, and this will sometimes set the cadence for the remainder of your year. So make sure that you go into it prepared to network, that you activate that networking while you're on site, and that you follow up afterwards.
Could not have said it better myself. And then something that's really unique about our conference is that families are welcome, right, Julie?
We are one of the few industry events that we highly encourage people to bring their families. Part of that is because of the destinations that we select places that people don't normally go for work. So we want you guys to set aside, the typical conference cities that you go to and experience the places that you are. And a lot of times that means bringing your families and having them enjoy it as well. So we highly encourage everybody to bring their families, guests, whoever it is that's important to you to bring. So we do have a guest and child registration. So if you register them, then they're able to attend the activities and the receptions that we offer. Because Banff is a bucket list destination, families can explore while you're in sessions, or you can explore the remainder of the day with them and really bring them into the conference. They get to meet the people that you work alongside, your other family, so to speak. And it's kind of fun for your families to see who you are when you're at work and in action. Sometimes they don't realize the impacts that you have, and it can be exciting for them. Those evening social events, again, bring them to it depending on the number of children that register. Sometimes we have activities for the children, the spouses are welcome, and they tend to build relationships amongst themselves as well. Children under 3 are complimentary and are truly welcome. At Banff, there's an activity center here that has childcare, that has tons of activities. So we highly encourage you to bring them and let them engage with the event. And then really we watch our families grow up together. I mean, there's people that brought their families as children that are now in our industries or recipients of our scholarships or just people that we watch grow up, and it really enhances the connections that we have within our group. And it's something that I hear from people all the time is that it's become a family tradition, or our event is so unique because they're connected on so many different levels. So highly encourage you to bring your families, your guests, whoever you want to ingrain them in this event.
And we would love to have them. It always makes the event more fun seeing it from a family's perspective as well. So now I'd like to go over the conference schedule. So the Summer Educational Conference runs from Sunday, June 28th through Wednesday, July 1st in the evening. So our typical recommended travel days are either Saturday, June 27th or the morning of Sunday, June 28th. And we do recommend that you leave on Thursday, July 2nd, just to make sure that you can enjoy all of the conference activities that we have available for you. So just to go in depth a little bit further into what each of the days hold, because I know as a first timer or as someone who hasn't attended one of our summer educational conferences in a while, what you're going to do every day is something that's really important and part of your planning process. So Sunday, June 28th, this is technically day one. So this is the official arrival day and start of the conference. So registration's going to be open. You can go and pick up your badge. You can get your welcome gift, really just get settled, go explore the hotel a little bit. The ESCA committees and board of directors do have meetings all day. So that's where a lot of the conference attendees will be if you're a part of one of those groups. And then we do have a welcome and opening reception that evening. So Sunday, June 28th, just come, register, get settled in, and then join us from 5 to 6 p.m. for the Ween Happy Hour, which will be at the Rundle Bar or the lobby bar, as we usually refer to it as. And then from 6 to 10 p.m., that is our opening reception. So we do have a lot of fun activations in store for you there. So it's a really good way to start the conference off on the right foot. And then on Monday, June 29th, this is the first full conference day. And I say that meaning this is when our education starts. So from 8 a.m. till 11:35 a.m., we do have morning education sessions. In there, you can see we have breakfast and exhibits in the morning, and then we have a break in that 8 a.m. till 11:35 a.m. time frame. So this will be a really good day. We have a lot of great opening speakers for you as well. And then the afternoon activities for Monday. So we do have quite a few. So starting at 11:45 a.m., that's whenever buses start loading and they'll depart at noon, is our afternoon at Lake Louise activity. So this is definitely going to be an amazing activity if you want to see two of the most iconic lakes, Lake Louise and Lake Moraine, in the Banff Calgary area. And then the next activity that we have is fishing at Lake Minnewaca. And this is an activity, it does have a little bit more limited attendance, but we do still have some spots available. And this participants will be able to enjoy a wonderful day on a lake, fishing, networking, and it turns out to be a really wonderful activity for those who participate. And then the third activity we have for Monday is from 1 to 3 p.m., and that is going to be at the Fairmont Banff Springs property. And this is called Smoke and Savor. It's a culinary lunch. So this is going to be a really amazing event for those who are more foodies, who just want to have some time and enjoy being at the Fairmont Banff Springs and enjoying the local scenery. So you'll enjoy a four-course curated menu that's custom made specific for this event that the wonderful chefs at the Fairmont have thought up for us. And it is paired with a wine tasting as well. So that'll be a really good activation if you're interested in doing one of those three activities. And then that evening, after your activities, if you choose to participate, from 7 to 8 p.m., we have a Rising Leaders Happy Hour. So this is a 1 hour happy hour dedicated to those who are rising leaders within the industry. And then from 8 to 10 p.m., we have an evening well spent. So this is a really meaningful event that we are doing this year to end up day two of the conference. So this will be at the Upper Rundle Bar, and it is a good networking event and a good way to end the day. And then on Tuesday, so very similar to Monday's format, we have education from 8 a.m. until 11:15 a.m. And then the afternoon activities. So we have two on Tuesday. We have our Quest Events golf tournament. So this is usually a big hit during our conference, and we have a lot of signups and people have a lot of fun, and we hear a lot of stories throughout the rest of the conference from this golf tournament. So buses will be departing at 11:45. So we're recommending attendees get to the bus docking station at 11:35 a.m. And then the golf tournament ends whenever you're done with your round of golf. So we put 6 p.m. on the schedule, but it's truthfully whenever you end your round. The shotgun start is at 12:30. And then for non-golfers, we have a wonderful activity called Above Banff, a gondola experience, where you will get to ride a gondola to the top of Sulphur Mountain and enjoy a wonderful lunch looking over the scenery of Bow Valley. Um, so it's not an activity if you are afraid of heights, but it is a very fun activity where you will get to see some wonderful scenery. And then Wednesday, this is the final day of the conference. So we have educational sessions from 8 a.m. until about noon. And then our afternoon activity we have from 2 to 4 p.m. It's called Peaks and Pours. And this will be outside on the garden terrace. So you'll get to look over the beautiful scenery and the Bow River and enjoy some nice cocktails, some s'mores, and there's some fun activations in store for that as well. And then we're closing up the conference from 6 to 7 p.m. with glasses up, bids in. So this is a dedicated silent auction hour where all the proceeds from our silent auction actually do go towards our ESCA Scholarship Fund. So it's a really good dedicated hour to participate in. And then we're closing up the summer educational conference from 7 to 10 p.m. with our closing reception. So this is a great farewell to the summer conference and a really good way to end. So that's a little bit of what our conference is going to be for the 4 days you're with us.
So, Rachel, just a few add-ins to what you said there. Just so everybody's aware, the WEEN networking event is for women in exhibitions, but really it's open to everybody if you want to come and celebrate women in exhibitions. Rising leaders, that's self-identified. So anybody who identifies as a rising leader or wants to come support those rising leaders, you're welcome to attend that event. You'll also notice that we left the evenings open on Monday and Tuesday for dinner. So you can go and explore the beautiful town of Banff. There are so many great restaurants, and it really is a great walking town and has a great culinary scene as well. So you're welcome to go and enjoy the city of Banff. For the evening well spent, we do have a charitable aspect to the event this year where we have a foundation that we're supporting. So that evening well spent will have a slightly you'll have the opportunity to support a charity that we've identified and that we're really excited about supporting, but it's also just a cocktail hour. And Rachel mentioned that the gondola experience. So that gondola trip really is very quick. And I know there are some people with some height concerns, as Rachel mentioned, but once you're up there, it's really a large event space. You'll be able to walk around and enjoy lunch. And then with all of this, we do want to thank all of our sponsors. There were so many here that it was difficult to include all of the names, but every one of the events you're seeing here is a title sponsorship. And there's so many amazing sponsors that we're going to thank when we're at the event. But in advance, just thank you to everybody that made this happen.
Yes, definitely. So now that you've seen what the conference looks like and what those 4 days have in store, now the important part of what to wear and what to bring. So we do have on the left side of your screen, you'll see the suggested dress. So for the sessions and the exhibit floor, we just recommend business casual, resort wear, um, what you would wear to a conference. Make sure you dress in layers. Conference rooms tend to get a little cool. For the evening receptions, we do ask that you step it up a notch. Usually smart casual to cocktail attire is what we typically see. And then for the afternoon activities, please dress for the activity. Wear comfortable walking shoes. That's Julie's tip you see there at the bottom. There is nothing worse than being at an event and having sore feet as you are walking around. So really just make sure to check the weather and dress for the activity appropriately. And then for what to pack, business cards. So Julie did mention we do the event, it's largely focused around networking, education and networking. People still use business cards, they still pass them out, so we highly recommend you bring them. It's a good way to keep track of who you've talked to throughout the event. Layers, like I said, and like you see at the bottom of the screen with the average temperatures, it does get a little cool in the evening. So please dress in layers to make sure you're the most comfortable. Comfortable walking shoes, light jacket or sweater for the sessions, and the passport. I think this is one of the most important things we want to highlight in this what to pack and on this webinar is Canada is an international destination and you do need a passport to attend. So please check, make sure when you're heading to the airport you have that passport. We also are recommending that you bring some Canadian dollars as well, just for emergencies. Canada has gone very credit card friendly, especially in a lot of the tourist destinations, which Banff and the town of Banff is one of them. But just in case, we do recommend having some Canadian cash on you as well, just in case. And then, like I mentioned, the average summer temperature. So the high, it does get a little cool in the 77 degrees, and then the low would be about 45 degrees. So as you're packing, just make sure you're checking that weather to make sure you're the most comfortable for this event.
And Rachel, just to add to the dress, bring what makes you comfortable to wear. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to see a lot of people in suits and ties during the day. Most people, like Rachel said, will wear resort wear. So you'll see people in, jeans and a nice shirt or pants, slacks. Just be comfortable and wear what makes you feel comfortable at every event. We are slightly excited that this year's event is going to be in a little bit cooler place. Our last few years, it's been quite warm. But with that, definitely plan on layers. We have shifted how our events are in past years. We've had a lot more outdoor activities. During the evenings, we moved them inside to account for the cooler weather. So for those people, guests, children, whatnot, that are inquiring, our closing reception and our opening receptions do move inside because it is cooler in the evening.
Yes, definitely. That's a great tip. And then just a little bit more on the what to wear. So our opening and closing receptions do have theming. But like Julie said, please just wear what makes you comfortable. You do not have to dress in theme. We've started doing this just to add a little fun to the event. And it truthfully helps knowing what to pack a little bit. So our opening reception theme this year is called Glacial Luxe. So think blues, greens, jewel tones. You really can't go wrong there. And then our closing reception, it is held on Wednesday, July 1st on Canada Day. So we wanted to give a nod to the country that is having us with our conference. So the theme is Oh Canada Gala. So think reds, different shades of maroon, think whites, and that'll just be a really fun evening to close up the conference. And then your pre-trip checklist. Julie, would you like to go through this?
Yep. First and foremost, make sure that you're registered. If you haven't registered yet, please do so. If you're having any issues, challenges registering, please contact us. We are using a new registration platform this year, so it's a little bit of a different experience for some of our attendees. So let us know if you have questions. Get your room booked. Our room block is almost full, so please get your room blocked as soon as possible if you haven't already done so. If you're having any challenges, again, please contact us, events@esca.org. Book your flights into Calgary, which is about an hour and 30 minutes away. Rachel, do you want to talk about some of the transportation options to get from the airport to the venue?
Definitely. So, since this is a little bit farther away of a destination, once you land at the airport, we have set up a few different transportation options. So, if you go to our website, sec.esca.org, you will notice that we have a travel page. So, we have arranged with the Banff Airporter a discount code for any of our attendees who are wanting that shuttle service. It's a pretty decent price. I think it's around $60 per person each way. So that's a great way to come from the airport and then get dropped off directly in front of the Fairmont Banff Springs. You can certainly rent a car. We recommend not renting a car just due to transportation will be provided for you for all the activities while you're participating in the ESCA Summer Conference. So you would be paying for parking while you're having transportation covered throughout the conference, but that is certainly an option as well if you would like to rent a car for that ease of travel. Car rentals are also available in the town of Banff if you are extending the trip after the conference is over and need a rental car to go do in the rest of your vacation and your trip, please do so there. And then there's private shuttles that you can rent as well, and all that information is on our website.
Perfect. And then Rachel, I think there is a free shuttle that goes around town all the time while you're there. So it is walkable to get from the Fairmont to the town of Banff. I think it's under a mile and it's a perfectly, nice flat walk. But there's also shuttles that or buses that are just running all around Banff and to all the key destinations in Banff all the time, directly picking you up from the front of the property. So to the point of needing a car, not needing a car, the town of Banff is, it's a little bit of a bigger town. I'll say it sort of reminds me of Vale. So sometimes it can be difficult to find parking and you have to pay for parking in the town of Banff. But there is street parking and there are little lots, but having a car really is not necessary while you're there during the event if you don't need it. So, but like Rachel said, you absolutely have those options. And then make sure you bring your passport, as Rachel said, and all your guests have their passports. And then the last thing is to notify your credit card company that you are traveling abroad just to make sure that there aren't any challenges with utilizing your credit card while in Canada.
Perfect. Well, I know we certainly covered a lot. So now we'd like to pass it over to you. If you have any questions, please feel free, put them in the chat, or you can turn on your camera and ask them now.
So, Rachel, I love how you started this by saying that we were both first timers at some point as well. I know I was a very first timer attending ESCA. And one of the things that most surprised me was that there was space in the day. We go from these very, very busy conference schedules where you're on the show floor all day, you're at events all night. And one nice thing that I think everybody should be prepared for is you will have space in the day. You will have time to go answer your emails. You'll have time to, go spend with your family to explore the town. So be ready for that.
Definitely. And I think something for myself as a first timer too, it was realizing for the activities, truly dress for the activity. You do not need to wear business casual while you are walking around Lake Louise. So everybody will be in activity themed dress. So that's what I would recommend as well.
All right, Rachel, it looks like you do have a question about where the room block code is.
Wonderful. So the room block code can be found on our website. Um, if you go under the travel tab and then hit book a room or book my room, I believe it's called, um, you can click that and it'll take you to the direct booking link for the conference hotel. And then if you book through that direct link, the discount will automatically already be applied to those rooms that you are seeing. But like Julie said, our room block is almost full. So if you are having any trouble booking a room or the dates that you want are not available, please reach out to us at events@esca.org and we'd be more than happy to assist you.
And then while you're on site, we want everybody to know that you're absolutely should be using the event app, as well as we have a chat bot through 42 Chat. So the event app, you'll be able to upload your profile. People will be able to connect with you through the event app. And our chat bot, is really amazing, is loaded with most of the questions you might have. You're able to answer there, as well as we use both of those platforms to communicate with you on site. So, in the event that there's something that you need to know, a reminder, you will get notifications from the chatbot and from the event app. So, make sure that you have both of those. That you've registered for the event app, and when you get the chatbot notification, that you're paying attention for those.
Definitely. And to log into the event app, that is the same information as your attendee portal. So, like Julie said, we do have a new registration platform this year. So, you can log into your attendee portal at any time. The login is your email that you use to register for the event, and the password was located in your confirmation email that you got when you registered for the conference. And you'll be able to log into the app. You can see what sessions you selected, what activities you selected, and you can make any changes in the app as well and online through the attendee portal.
And Rachel, there's a question here about activities. So when you register, we do ask that you sign up for the activities that you're going to attend. If something changes and you're not going to attend an activity, please let us know. They do all sell out. Every single activity will sell out, and they have space limits, and we keep a wait list. So if you're not going to attend, please let us know so that we can clear the wait list and allow another attendee to attend. Um, and so, along with that, if you have questions about what you've registered for, how to cancel something, how to get on a wait list for an event, or questions about the event in general, you can find the majority of the information on our website. And if not, again, reach out to us. We love connecting with each and every one of our attendees and their guests. The other piece of that question that came through was about guests. We do ask that you use their individual email addresses. We find that our guests actually tend to have more questions than our attendees about the event. So let them communicate with us directly. It's a great way for them to know what to be prepared for. And we love answering those questions. And we also want to make sure that they have a seamless experience.
Definitely. And I think that is a great question. We do have a lot of activities and opportunities for the guests to participate throughout the conference, but if they have any questions, they can definitely reach out to us as well.
Okay, any other questions?
I don't see any. Well, if you have any questions and you did not share or write them in the chat today, please make sure to email us. And like Julie said, we'd be more than happy to answer your questions and make sure you feel prepared and confident whenever you come and join us in Banff. And if you have not registered yet for the summer conference and you are using this webinar as a way to learn more to see if this was the right fit for you, I hope we answered your questions and you feel prepared. Um, but we can't wait to see you in June in less than 60 days in Banff at our summer educational conference. Julie, is there anything else you would like to say?
No, I'm really excited to see everybody. I'm so excited to let everybody experience Banff. It truly is a bucket list destination, and we're so excited to bring ESCA to Canada and to get to really tie the amazing education that we've curated for this event, which Rachel really didn't touch on, but it is exceptional and we're so excited, along with the activities that really embrace where we're going with this event and the networking and all the amazing people that are in our industry. It is our favorite time of the year, and we're so excited to see you all.
Definitely. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. This webinar has been recorded and will be shared on our website. So if you need to refer back to anything that we spoke about today, you will have this as a resource. And like Julie said, all the information is also available on our website, sec.esca.org. And you can reach out to us, like we said, at events@esca.org if there's anything else we can help you with. Otherwise, we look forward to welcoming you to Banff in June. Thank you all so much.
Thanks.